just maybe switching a little bit, Brent, to the industry. There's kind of a dizzying array of things going on. You've got, as you said, a lot of government involvement in, sort of almost industry policy for the car industry related to, powertrains and that kind of thing. You've got, I think, the increasing conversation about the US manufacturing base and the role of the car industry in that, and there's been much more regionalization of supply chains globally. You've got different business models, rideshare, all of that. There's lots of innovation around the product, autonomous vehicles, and so on. So as you kind of maybe just look ahead, what is your outlook or view of where the car industry is going over the next decade or two?
If you had asked me in 2018, the industry prognosticators would have said, the most transformational force was going to be autonomy. And that has proven to be a more vexing challenge than anybody anticipated. I'm not suggesting that I don't think we won't have autonomy in the future, but it's had a really bad year this year. The Cruise accident just showed the risk inherent in it, and as much as AI has the potential to help, it's so complex. So I'll give you an example. I am blessed to have about a 7-mile commute up A1A. I need to count it. There's probably 15 crosswalks on that. Some of them are the more modern ones where you push the button and the lights tell everybody that the person's crossing, but they all, state law says you must stop and give right of way to the pedestrian. There's a moment in every encounter that I have as a driver that I don't know how an algorithm will ever catch that of, I'm looking at you as the pedestrian, you're looking at me, and we agree I'm going to stop. And my agreement
it's a negotiation.
is conditional upon making sure that the person behind me is going to be able to stop and not hit me and knock me into you as you're crossing the road. I'm a huge technology believer. I'm not sure how that use case effectively gets solved. And that's the challenge in an urban environment. Now, having said that, ADAS, or Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, are already at the point where if I'm not stopping and you're walking out, my car will stop itself because the sonar and the technology that is in it. And that technology will continue to grow and evolve. And this is one where the wisdom of Toyota is, first Akio, the race driver, is like, who wouldn't want to drive? So he's not a huge, let's hand it to the machine, because he thinks that even though they're on a path to be able to do that, but they've said ADAS is not optional. So we're going to put all of our advanced driver assistance systems in every vehicle that we've got in the lineup. And each succeeding model, we're on version 3 dot something of ADAS. And so we can have a much safer roadway. Back to your broader point, powertrain is going to matter. You know, having spent a decade in the car rental business when Hertz made the front page with their partnership with Tesla, I had to scratch my head because, you know, range anxiety is a real thing when you are a local driver and you know where everything is. If you are either a commercial driver in a city that is not home or a tourist,
It's much worse.
I scratched my head and said, how's that going to work? And I think they've had the bruising realization that that's the case. And we see it in our dealer lots today. The industry is running about a 45 or 50-day supply of vehicles. The BEV days supply is closer to 100. So the consumer is only partially ready for battery electric.
Although there was probably some overproduction on the part of the OEMs.
For sure.
Yeah.
No question about that. And it's all premium product, so there's not a low-end
Right.
battery electric solution that's out there, which I come back to. Plug-in and hybrid is a logical way for us to proceed. I really believe that in the long run, hydrogen will wind up being the heavy-duty trucking and over-the-road solution. So it's, you know, it's an exciting time to be in the industry, and you know, watching as these technological forces, whether it be powertrain or autonomy / ADAS, and then the different business models that those beget, creates a real opportunity. But I ultimately come back to, you know, partners, great manufacturer in Toyota, the best dealers in the business, and great people. That's a competitive differentiator that is going to be the difference maker.